What's up, guys? I'm here with another video tutorial for our 2023 BMW S1000RR. This will also apply to the 2024. What are we doing today? We are deleting the wing and putting some block offs in. Check it out. This is how it looks like when it's all done. So to get rid of the wing here, pretty easy process. I'll show you how to do it step by step. We're getting rid of the wing to reduce downforce, increase top speed. Luckily, this is super easy. I'm using a power drill, T25, a T20, and I also have here an 8mm socket, deep socket preferably if you got one. So how do we start here? What we're gonna do here is remove this screw, and there's a T25 underneath that secures this fairing we're gonna get to. We're gonna push this out from the inside. I'll show you how to do that. There's 3 screws that secure the back of the fairing here and 1 here, and this fairing will come out. These 3 right here are such a pain to get to, just so you guys know. Now it's gonna be 1 here, there's 1 here, and then there's 1 here. There's 3, 1, 2, and 3 that go here. You don't need to get this one, okay? Leave that one alone. So these are the 3 inside fairing screws here, and you can see this one's closest to the radiator, this one's the center one, and this one's closest to the headlight or the wing. You can see they're different sizes. Make sure you take account of this when you're putting it back together. Now you need to pull this off right here, which is a couple T20s on the inside here. Let me see, yeah. There's a hole right there. You can see I already pulled out the screws. So this thing, once you pull out the screws, kind of goes in, pulls right out just like that. Now for here, what we got to do is we have to push, find with our hand here. See where that BMW logo is? Find with your hand basically, right there. You can see I'm pushing it out. I'll probably need my other hand to fish this thing out. Let me see if I can do it while I've got you guys here. There we go. Pulls out nice and gently. Well, I'm trying to be gentle. There she goes, right there. And that reveals one of the main fairing screws right there you need to get out. Once you got that long T25 out, there's actually a push grommet here that you just want to pull out, now the fairing. Now this fairing is pretty much out of here. Now what I would do at this point, before you start pulling it out, put some kind of rag right here to protect not only this fairing, if you have a carbon fiber or even plastic, you want to protect this and protect the frame, because if you drag this along here, it'll create a nice white mark on a black frame. So first thing I do here is lift the bottom of the fairing, which kind of lies into the belly here. Pull it out. You can kind of bend this up a little bit and the whole part will come out. You can see it's kind of wiggling now. And there's only 2 things holding this into it now. There's 2 kind of prongs that go here into the front fairing, which you got to pull this whole thing back. So I have to do that off camera right now. There we go. And the fairing is off. You can see those are the 2 prongs that are holding it back. You have to pull it back. You can see it secures right there, those 2 grommets right there on the fairing. So you pull these things back and then the whole fairing will come right out. Just be really careful with it, it'll slide right out. Once you pull the fairing out, be sure you're able to put it on something like a rag, because you're gonna have to work on the back side of it. So that means the front side of it has to be laying on something. So I have a microfiber cloth here, and basically this piece right here, which I've already pulled up, you can see this was behind here, this was under there, has little pushes, 3 push pins right there. You basically pull this out and then pull it up like this, and then this piece, which is carbon on some bikes and other bikes is plastic, whatever, that'll go away, so we have room to play with the 4 8mm bolts we got to take out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we've got all 4 of those nuts off. Now the wing will pull right out. Let me see here. I can do this with one hand on the camera, one hand here. There we go. Wing comes out. Oops. Hope it's still there. Still hanging on for dear life. Come on, wing. There we go. Easy enough. Well, if you had 2 hands or another person holding it, it'd probably be a lot easier. Now let's go ahead and weigh this versus the block offs. Now, while some of you may not care at all what these weigh versus block offs, some people really do care about the weight on these, and some people are roll racers or drag racers, and they care about saving every ounce on this bike. So let's go ahead and see what these OEM wings actually weigh. Let me turn on my trusty food scale here. It goes right there. Let's put this on there nice and carefully, boom. 14.6 ounces. So that's almost a pound. So 16 ounces would be 1 pound. So that's how much that one wing weighs right there. Now let's see what the block offs weigh. Here are the block offs, one right there and one right here. These are billet aluminum pieces, 2.8 ounces. And these right here, guys, are prototypes. Yours will be a little bit different. They'll say BT Moto on them. They'll probably have a different finish on them. These ones are honestly just painted. You can see right here at the backing, it's just raw. Now from this point, you really can't mess this up. You just kind of replace these where the wings went, screw them in with the bolts right there, the OEM bolts. I would use the deep socket because the bottom ones will be a little bit longer than the top ones as far as how much thread is left when you screw it in. But you really can't mess up which way these things go. One's obviously for the top, one's obviously the bottom. They are directional. It's really easy to put them in. Let me put them in real fast, show you what they look like on the fairing. And that's it right there. You can literally see they fit perfectly. You can see they line up perfectly with the fairing, perfectly with the fairing. They even curve with the fairing. These are actually perfect. They look great. So let's go ahead and get these things on the bike and see what the final product looks like. Now it's super easy to put this thing back together. Just do everything you did to take it off and put it back on. There's nothing special once you install these. Super easy. Okay guys, all wrapped up, looking great on both sides here. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Okay, couple of things to note here while you're putting her back together. Make sure when you put this, you gotta slide those two prongs back into the front there, that you have your rag right there. Make sure your rag's on there, so that's not scraping anything, because you gotta maneuver this in. Put those things in. Once you get this thing in, go ahead and snap on to that grommet again, that plastic post. In the back here, what you want to do is put these 3 screws in, hand roll them in first, because the fairing will be extremely malleable once you put the fairing in and you haven't put anything else in. Just go ahead and put those 3 in once you have the fairing completely secure, tucked in there and everything. That's the first thing you do. Then go ahead and do the rest. And if you want to put a new emblem on there, that's the time to do it because it's already out. So just go ahead and do it. We don't put the anniversary ones on here. Looks good. And I think that's going to do it for this tutorial, guys. See you in the next one.